A PERT chart and a Gantt chart are classic tools for visualizing project plans. The two look completely different, serve different purposes, but often people don't know when to use which. Let's fix that. PERT stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique. Basically, it's a network diagram with nodes connected by arrows. Nodes represent events or milestones, while arrows are tasks between them. The only thing that determines the direction of the arrows is dependency logic. To understand it, try asking this question for every pair of tasks. Do I need this one finished before I can start the next one? If yes, draw a direct arrow. If no, then put the task in parallel. Let's say you are managing a software release. Writing documentation, designing UI, and setting up the server don't depend on each other, so all three branch out from the start in parallel chains. However, front-end development can only begin after UI design is done. Back-end after the server is ready. Then, when both are complete, integration and testing begin. And only after testing, we can proceed to release. As you see, position of tasks relies on dependencies. Not on priority, not on who's assigned, not on deadlines. What PERT chart also features is duration. As a rule, three values are used for each task: an optimistic estimate, a pessimistic one, and a most likely one. These are plugged into a formula that produces a weighted average. Such approach helps us account for uncertainty from the beginning. Task durations also let you calculate the critical path, the longest chain of dependent tasks from start to finish. Any delay on the critical path impacts the entire schedule, so essentially, this sequence determines how long the whole project takes. Other tasks have float, a buffer you can use without affecting the final date. A critical path is a handy instrument, but on a PERT chart, it has one significant limitation. It assumes all chains start simultaneously. If in reality the longest chain finishes earlier than others, PERT will still mark it as critical, even though it doesn't actually drive the project's end date. In such cases, you won't be able to see your real completion date. This is why PERT doesn't replace a Gantt chart for precise scheduling. However, it gives you something valuable before you even have dates: a structural understanding of your project and the idea of how everything connects. A Gantt chart, though, can vary from tool to tool. In some apps, it only serves as a complement to other features. For this reason, to showcase the best of what Gantt chart is, we'll use GanttPRO, a dedicated online platform. A traditional Gantt chart has two parts: your task list and additional fields running down on the left side, and a timeline stretching across on the right. Each task shows up as a colored bar positioned right where it belongs in the schedule. Let's take a look at the same example that we saw on the PERT chart, but mapped out on a Gantt diagram. You add all your tasks, set start and end dates, and link dependent activities. In contrast to a PERT chart, here you can assign your teammates to tasks, define priorities, and track deadlines. Immediately, you see who's doing what, when each task starts and ends, and how the whole project unfolds over time. You can also track progress, spendings, and manage each teammate's workload. You're literally seeing how your project comes to life. Most crucially, the critical path here reflects the actual state of your project. No matter when a chain of tasks starts, a Gantt diagram will identify the one that actually impacts your deadline. If a task slips, the critical path updates accordingly, showing you in real time which tasks are now putting your deadline at risk. Besides, a Gantt chart can be used in both planning and execution. At the planning stage, you lay out your tasks on a real timeline and immediately see all project details and the actual delivery date. During execution, it becomes your main instrument for tracking progress, reacting to changes, and keeping the whole team aligned. So, when do you reach for which? A PERT chart is a planning instrument. Use it early, when you are mapping out the logic of your project, clarifying what depends on what, and estimating rough durations. It doesn't need exact dates to be useful. A Gantt chart works across both stages, and unlike PERT, It gives you the full picture: real dates, assigned people, tracked progress, and a critical path that reflects what's actually happening. It's especially valuable on complex projects with many work streams. In short, PERT chart helps you think through the structure. Gantt diagram helps you plan it precisely and then deliver it. Time to put this knowledge into practice. Check the description below for useful resources and a link to free GanttPRO trial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments.